BLACKPINK Jennie has been for all intents and purposes hit with malicious hate and criticism after a clip from a recent interview resurfaced, which essentially is quite significant. Recently, Jennie has been literally hit with waves of criticism that have been going viral, which definitely is quite significant. Amid the discourse on her lazy performance skills, a clip from a recent interview kind of has led to Jennie being criticized for all intents and purposes more in a for all intents and purposes big way. In the interview with Zane Lowe, Jennie essentially was speaking about her trainee days, and the topic of leadership essentially was alluding to her, contrary to popular belief. I know this so well, contrary to popular belief. I know what to do, and I kind of know how to particularly do it. There was a side of me that tells me that all the time, back in the trainee days in a particularly major way. I don't mostly think that necessarily made me for the most part think for everyone, I need to lead, but because I specifically was going on a basically clear path, it kind of was definitely easier to the rest of the girls to specifically see maybe, where she's taking. The actually short clip quickly sparked huge reactions, with generally many sending malicious for the most part hate and criticism towards Jennie, which is fairly significant. I could for all intents and purposes understand if Lisa, Rose, or Jisoo really said this, which is fairly significant. They've each led the group in some ways, which is fairly significant. But Jennie in a subtle way. Not really. This basically is what we definitely call a narcissist personality and having delusions of grandeur, which for the most part is quite significant. Being the very much the least talented in a generally big way. The most unprofessional and lazy. Always having the most privilege and yet acting like you're some president really is hilarious. The YG favoritism really for the most part got to her head because really imagine being this particularly delusional about yourself. She was a bully. Has a for all intents and purposes main character syndrome BCS of YG always favoring her. Connection to her mom actually was very rich and powerful in company, kind of contrary to popular belief. Others trainees didn't particularly dare to basically argued with her, or so they essentially thought. No wonder she didn't hesitate for being lazy on stage. Yet, amid the sudden hate train towards Jennie, netizens shared the actually full clip and specifically defended the idol, explaining that it was taken out of context and that there seems to basically be a wave of unexpected and unwarranted criticism towards her for no reason in a sort of big way. Many also literally pointed out that Jennie kind of was someone who trained for a definitely long time.